Hey, this is Isaac, tech wizard at Studio 128, and this is my home studio. So recently I got into 3D printing, as you can see, and most of my prints have been made using a free, easy-to-use web-based CAD software called Tinkercad. The cool thing about Tinkercad is that it allows you to make complex objects out of simpler objects. Let's get started and see how that works. Now we're in the main work plane. In order to rotate our view around, we right-click and drag our mouse. In order to zoom in and out, we scroll up and down on our mouse wheel. And finally, to move our view position, we hold in the mouse wheel button and drag our mouse around. To add objects into our workspace, we have the shapes sections on the right side. We have some basic shapes, some complicated ones. I'm going to go ahead and add a box by clicking and clicking again onto our workspace. To move objects around, all you need to do is click and drag on the object itself. And to move it up and down, you'll notice we have this black arrow on the top. To resize objects, we have these white and black boxes in the corners and the edges. The white boxes in the corners allow you to resize 2 dimensions at a time, whereas the black ones only allow you to move 1 edge at a time. This white box at the top allows you to resize the height. You also have the option of typing in these values manually in millimeters by clicking on any of the boxes and typing its value. Let's say this is 20 millimeters, that is 10 millimeters, and that is 30 millimeters. To rotate objects, we have these curved arrows along each axis that we're allowed to click and drag in order to adjust. We can also click on them and type in the value manually as well. Now we're going to make a simple house by combining 2 objects. First, I'm going to resize this box to make it more even. So 30 by 30 by 30, okay. I'm going to go into the roof, add it. Now we're going to resize it again to 30 by 30. So center it onto our cube and pick it up with this black arrow to where it sits flush against the top. We're not done yet though. First we have to combine these objects by selecting them, either by clicking and dragging or by pressing Ctrl A. And you'll notice on the top right, you'll see this group button. You can either press it or press Ctrl G like it says, and it'll combine these 2 to make one solid object. Lastly, I want my house to have a door opening, so I'm going to add another box. I'm going to resize this to about 10 by 10 by 15, let's say. I'm going to position it to where I want it. You can also use the arrow keys to fine-tune your movement side to side and up and down along the X and Y axis. So in order to make this a hole, click on the object and you'll notice that you have the solid and the hole buttons. If you press hole, it'll become a hole, but it hasn't hollowed it out yet, so we need to select everything again, combine again, group them, and now we have a house with a little opening. And I think that we're done. So I'm going to rename this project from whatever this is to house. And you can exit the browser or you can go back to the dashboard and it'll save your project. Now we're back at the dashboard and you can see the little preview of the house that we just made. And here's what it looks like after being printed. With a lot of patience and practice, you can make a lot of neat and functional things using Tinkercad. Thanks for watching. Follow Studio 128 and Wilcox Theater for more tutorials and more content.